It's start time, and today I will be talking about love. A love story is what I call this episode. Going back to my childhood days, I always believed in romance, love, family, two kids, having a bomb ass wife who is who is respectful and well mannered and have all the beliefs I want. And something that's, long lasting. So yeah, I always believe it. I definitely believe in I definitely believe in marriage. I definitely believe in procreating with one person. I definitely believe in everlasting love, basically. So yeah, um, when I was little, I was just always around people. I had my family. I had people that used to live with me. I had people that used to come to the house. I had people that knew my parents that used to just come around. So I just always seen and being the only boy in my family, like I had an older brother, but ultimately he's like 20 something years older than me. So I don't count him because by the time I was little, he left the house. No? He left the house by the time I was little. Now I was there and his kids are older than me. I'll tell you that. He has a son and a daughter that's older than me. I can't even call her my niece. I can't even call her my nephew. I call my nephew sometimes to irk him, but that's just that's just my bro at this point, because he's older than me, so I had to give him his respect, because. But yeah, so I always had that fantasy love story, something out of movies, something out of cartoons, something that I could feel. I listen to these. I grew up listening to old school R&B, 90s R&B. I fell in love with it because I fantasize about true love, real love. I fantasize of having that feeling that them R&B singers had. So, you know, when I was very, very young, I'm gonna mention a lot of stuff here. I'm gonna throw names in and out per pseudo, but not identify all the people identity. If you know, you know. Like if you know what I'm talking about, you know. Like if you're around me for an extended amount of time, you may know by description who I'm talking about. So I remember going to Catholic school and I met this pretty bomb girl in my class in Catholic school. And oh my gosh, that was like my first crush. That was the first time I had a crush on somebody when I went to Catholic school and I met this girl that I went to Catholic school like I went there from like second grade and third grade or something. 'Cause I went to 292. I went to PS13 after the fourth and fifth. Um PS13 was right around the corner from my house. If you know, you know. East New York, baby. But yeah, so I went to this Catholic school when I was small. It was me and my nieces, my nephews, my sister. We was all going to Catholic school together. Apparently, my parents and their parents was rich enough to send us together. So yeah, we went to Catholic school. We went to Catholic school for like I think I went to Catholic school for 2 to 3 years straight. And um yeah, I fell in love with this girl that was so beautiful. I never seen something so beautiful. And I never lusted or had a crush on somebody so beautiful, man. Tell you. But that was like the first time I think I experienced friend zone. I thought it was gonna be like a little childhood love, some type of shit you see in like a Disney movie or some shit you see. But I felt like Doug, and she was my Patty. Doug reference. If you know, you know. Yeah. So, I was lusting after her, going after class, thinking she was the baddest thing on this earth, you know? And, you know, she knew I liked her. She knew I was crazy over her. She knew, because we sat next to each other, we started doing like classwork together, all types of things. So, sitting next to her every day, I felt butterflies. Talking about like Floetry Michael Jackson butterflies. I just felt like, yo, this is how crushes feel like. First grade, second grade, or second and third grade. And then it's like, I'm in school and she's in school and we only see each other in school because we're too young to really do anything. It's like a little childhood crush. I mean, the feelings wasn't reciprocated, but I liked to exercise that I was, holding her down, on some DJ Khaled shit. So it was something. Um, and what else? So I left the school when fourth grade year came around. Yes, yes. When fourth grade year came around, I left the school and I went to PS13. So I no longer had any contact with her. No, I didn't know where she lived at that point. So it was no way for me to run into her. 'Cause I only seen her in school. I didn't know nothing about her, outside of going to the class every day and sitting next to her. So yeah, that was my first crush. My first crush ever in life, yo. And what's crazy is, I I reconnected with her recently, like 2016, 17, because I was working with her cousin. And her cousin was tagging her pictures. I'm like, yo, I know her. And her cousin and me work together. So I'm like, yo, I know her. That's you know who. She's like, oh, that's my cousin. Yeah, it's been a while. What's going on, Because I still had a crew. Now she's looking bad. She's busty, she's pretty, she's tall, she's like a certified dime piece at this point. And she just looks more beautiful than anything at this age. When I met her, she ain't had no kids or nothing, but I started trying to talk to her on Instagram, but shit just went left. She was slow response. You know how that goes. But I'm glad that she acknowledged and she accepted my friend request at that time. So it was good to reconnect with that person. You know who you are. So I go to a new school, and then I started to do my thing, and somehow I ended up getting a girlfriend in my my my, my elementary school days. It was crazy. I'm like, yo, like I'm young. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing here. But she wanted to be with me bad, and it would have been my first experience dating, even though we were young. Like that shit was real as it got. Like once I started to really date her, I started to notice that the girl lived right around the corner from me. Literally, she literally lived right around the corner from me. So um we went to the same school. We used to do small stuff like walk each other home, showing each other step, talk, play music from Hot 97, because I don't think Power the Five was out by then. Sing along to the songs. And it's like crazy because she was a little she was a little over the top. They used to make fun of her because she was a little heavy set at the time. She's a little better now, but she was heavy set at the time, and she had she had crooked teeth and all that. So anybody that was around me during that time just knew that me and her was together. Like she used to come to. It was easy to date because we was in the same grade and everything. So by the time I was graduating the school at PS13, like she was just basically in my face all the time because we had to. You know how it is. You know how it is when you graduate and you're in the same class with the person. You're doing everything together regardless. So that was some experience. I was just seeing her all the time by default. You know, got my first kiss from her. No, I had a room in my basement, and that room, that room holds memories, boy. That room would be the room that I would get things done. Like she came to my house and she really was about to give me head. But my little sister, my father was acting like a jerk because I was downstairs with her doing things. And I don't understand. My father gotta understand I'm a man. So well, at that time I was a little boy. So he sent my little sister to come and check on me. And she banging on the door, screaming my name, Roger, Roger, Roger. And we in there just chilling. She getting ready to do it. And I'm like, yo, 11-year-old me is just like, yo, I don't know what's going on. You know, I don't know what's going on. But I'm excited about this. So it never happened my first time then, but it was close. It was close. Oh yeah. Once I graduated elementary school, we migrated together to the same junior high school. So in junior high school, our classes was next to each other. So by default, we walked to school, we held hands, we was doing the lovey-dovey thing. Everybody that was around me at the time knew who she was. Everybody. 'Cause that shit was very apparent that that wasn't just a friend. Mm-mm. So, yeah. So, sixth grade comes, seventh grade come, and we started to call each other on the house phone. I started coming over there just to chill. Her grandma used to get vexed Her grandma used to get mad at her. She's like, I'm seeing you with this boy. And, after a while, her behavior started to shift. She started to become aggressive with me. She started to demand stuff. And I ain't like that shit. It's like, yo, who you think you talking to? For real? So, I was gonna say, after that, a couple years went. Junior high school was going, but then she went away after like my seventh grade year of junior high school. She went away, and I just never heard from her again. I came back to the school in eighth grade, and it was like a clean slate because she started to get really reckless. I no, I was basically going through eighth grade single, and somehow my my bros who went to junior high school with me, shout out to Courtney, shout out to Eric, shout out to Malcolm, shout out to Ariel, Adriana, Rocio, Javon, and Pookie, and they all was like, "Yo, you a pimp, you pimp Juice." Hey, yo, how does they come about? Some random guy coming to sit at us at lunch, pouring me that shit, bro. Just because he saw me holler at some girl in the lunchroom one day. No, we be in junior high, so we got the lines, we got the stuff. When we're coming in the morning, we gotta line up to do every. Know how it is with junior high. We line up to do everything. You're basically in the auditorium like every once a month and stuff. So I think he saw me holler at some girl, and she shut me down, and he was like, "Oh, he's pimp juice." And then it was that Nelly song that was out during that time. Yo, I tell you, I can't stand that Nelly. I can't stand Nelly song, yo. Like his songs was overplayed. I couldn't stand his stuff. Like the only song from Nelly I really still jack is Ride With Me, really. That shit was popping. But yeah, so that's the origin of that name. Like they started to call me that in my eighth grade year in junior high school, bro. And I'm like, yo, why y'all calling me this shit, bro? I ain't Pimp Juice, I ain't nobody. Um, so yeah, my eighth grade year, I was single. I was just doing me. I was living my life as a single man. And then I went to high school. Most of those people came to high school with me, especially the ones that knew it. So all throughout like the halls, the lunchroom, they was calling me Pimp Juice and stuff. I'm like, oh. And then I just took it as a liberation. Started to just max people, max to girls all day. I didn't care if I got shut down. I remember macking to a girl in one of my ninth grade classes. She ended up friend zoning me off the bat. No, she ended up zoning me, and it was really hard because this girl was really pretty and stuff. But taking we ended up taking classes together for a long time, like almost through the whole time I was at Paul Road. We was taking classes together. Um, I don't mention her name, but yeah, because my homeboy, that's his baby mama. So yeah. I won't mention it, but if you know, you know. So at that point, I'm just like, yo, I get to high school, and the first person that talks back to me friend zone me. The fuck? What is this? So so with that being said, I was in high school just doing my thing. I went to the Children's Museum to get a job. I would do high school in the day, Children's Museum in the afternoon. I met a bunch of people there. No, at this point, girls was gassing my head up. This was the point where girls was gassing my head up at the museum, and even outside of my high school, like in Crown Heights. So I was just like, yo, what's going on here? Like, I ain't even dating nobody. I'm just over here getting my head gassed up. Then I remember like my 10th grade year of school, some younger girls, one of them my homeboy, he he gave this girl my number and we started to talk. We met up twice, but nothing really happened. We just started to become like pen pals. The iPhone I had, because I had iPhone before, then I went to Android for like the 6 to 7 years. Then I came back to iPhone last year. So um I realized that, it's easier to like have fun with your significant other if y'all are on the same type of phone. But these days things have evolved. Back then, I feel like with the features and the iOS updates and stuff, you didn't have as much fun and as much stuff you could do, then WhatsApp came. So that was a way to text people faster, and that was a way to do group chats and stuff like that. So I dated her for a minute. She was my second love. No, her ex-boyfriend was obsessed with me. This nigga over here sending me messages on Facebook. I'm screenshotting it and sending it to her. Like, yo, this nigga Michael is crazy. And it's crazy because I freaking knew of him. Then I ended up having class with her later in college. So that relationship was sour. No, I felt like I wanted her more than she wanted me, and I felt it. So she just hit me up one day and said, "I can't do this no more. La la la. You a good dude. Good luck with life and la la la." And that was it for her. Like, no, during this time, I still had her as a friend on Facebook. So I ended up just keeping in touch for a little bit. I noticed that she ended up getting with some next guy. She was writing statuses about him, whatever. Then she started to vent on Facebook and swear off men entirely and turn gay. That's just crazy, bro. So for a minute, I was single too. After that, I was single. I was going to the nightclub with my boys. We was going to like Taj, um, Rebel, Contra, and during this time we just kept, the club scene. I was automatically just meeting people all the time, just by default, because you're being around women all the time, and No, these women are fickle. These women aren't like giving me what I need. Texting buddies, friend zone. You know, I met a girl and she was using me as a friend to vent about her baby daddy, her situation. And that shit was annoying to me. I'm like, yo, I feel like I'm in between y'all. Like, I want to date you when you're over here talking about what he did today and what he did to you. And her situation was annoying because she had two kids by two different dudes, and she had joint custody. The older one was living with the father. She had to meet them at the meet them at a certain location every week. It was a lot, yo. Y'all girls are wild, bro. I tell you. So during this time, I was just like mad because even then I ended up I just getting mad numbers because like I was just meeting mad people, nightclub days, mad people. And then there was another girl, she was just inviting me. Oh shoot. Yeah, she was just inviting me out. Like, and then I realized she wanted my company. She didn't want me. Cause I did ask her. I was like, yo, what's good between me and you? You know, I want to date you. She said, oh, we're just friends, man. There's nothing gonna happen between us here. I know I know she probably remember this if I see her again. But to this day, I haven't reconnected with that girl. Try to add her back on Instagram over the years. I was stalking her so much, I tried to see her page from other people's pages. Then I see that she had a kid, she got pregnant, and had a new boyfriend right after. It's crazy how fast these females move on. Like y'all be having these men lined up on the bench waiting to come in the game. Like shoo, shoo. Like that's how I see it. Like, and then it's like, yo, after this, I just I just started to like jack jack some whores, jack some dotties. Cause I was still in that mood of getting some. At that time I kind of liked the way it had feel, and just it was just crazy. So now it's like 2013, 2013. I'm over here still trying to find somebody's date, and it was crazy. So people was telling me download apps, download dating apps, Zooks. Um, I think POF was still popping at the time. POF was around at the time, but I didn't sign up. BLK was started out, and some other random stuff. But a lot of these apps, they it seemed like the girls on there go for the same type of dude. So it felt like my high school experience again. Like I was getting I was getting no matches. And this is my early 20s. This is not like something that happened recently. So, dating apps was on the rise still. It wasn't popping like it is now, but it was on the rise. Like people was using it, people was signing up to it, but it was more for like, oh, come over and have sex with me type of apps. And I ain't gonna lie, Craigslist was popping at the time too. This was a time where like people was just hooking up like crazy. Like where I lived, a lot of people was just popping it for random people. And this was a time that the neighborhood kids would tell me who was who. You know, the ones that used to stay around the block and stuff. So until 2014, when I was on Black People Meet, and I get this message from somebody. She made a fake name on there. She she didn't really show her. She had glasses, but she turned her head where she couldn't see her. I couldn't see her real face. So I'm over here pressing her in the inbox. I'm like, yo, call me. We're talking in his inbox back and forth, and I didn't pay for the site yet. Because with the site Black People Meet, you have to pay to continue messaging and stuff. So she was really interested in me. So I ended up just getting her number. She ended up getting my number, and we ended up talking. And the first time, I'm impatient. So is a habit I can't stop. I'm impatient. So she lived in Queens. Well, yeah, she lived in Queens. And she was telling me that she wanted to link me too. So she would text me on the phone, and then she said she was getting her hair done by a friend in Harlem. So I was still going to I was still going to City Tech at this time. It was my final semester before I graduated. So things was lining up. Like it was weird because I met her like in May of 2014. And she was telling me her birthday was last month and all that stuff. And she just turned this age and whatnot. So we met up at Panera Bread, downtown Brooklyn by Court Street, like by the courthouses. Yeah. Because that was like the central area that we could met. We met up there. Then I see this gorgeous woman that was thick walking through the door with glasses, hair looking nice. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's you from the app. And we started talking, and she enjoyed. She hit me up when she got home. She said she enjoyed the time with me. She wanted to see me again. She's talking to her mother about me. I'm like, gold, strike. I'm in there, my boy. So, and then before her, like all 2013, I was meeting females from the club and all that stuff, and a lot of the girls were taking on dates, but it was one-time dates, or it was just texting buddies, talking buddies. So it was a lot of girls before I actually, but with her, like I started taking her around the city. Like we went to 59th Street to sit in Central Park. Then we went to Times Square, sit by the steps. Yeah, the red steps. Um, Then I took her to Red Lobster because I was obsessed with Red Lobster at the time. Then I then I put up the courage to ask her to be my girlfriend. She said yes. And yeah, we started to be dating. And then I think the same month that we dated and made it official, she came to my family barbecue and everybody had met her at the same time. I felt good. I felt good that everybody met her at the same time because I was talking about her to my boys, I was talking about her to my family, and I wanted everybody to meet her, I wanted everybody to see who she was. Yeah, so we we officially went out within maybe 2 months. We became together, and it was I was so in love. I was so on cloud nine when I first met her. Because she was showing me during this time everything I wanted to see. She was listening to me, she was being submissive, she was getting to know me. So, honeymoon stage. So, we talking, we getting to know each other, we starting to realize that we like similar things. She's a shy girl until you get to know her. And I'm quiet at times. So it felt like it was a match made in heaven at first. So we started to date. Um, I started to be so obsessed with her. I had her as my screensaver on my phone. So I'll go to work, I open my phone, everybody be like, who that? I was like, it's my lady, my girl. And of course the my girl was heavy set, so she was more heavy set when I met her than she was when we broke it off. Like, but she was gorgeous. Like her beauty was radiant. And me, I was like, yo, I didn't really see nobody else. I wasn't even talking to nobody else at this time. So we started to seriously date. We started to go out. My boys were still doing the party promoting thing. I bought her a couple times, and she was mad that she had to get on the girls' line, I had to get on the guys' line. I told her that's how it was. She was mad that I had to I left her, and she said I left her in the company of people that she didn't know. But these were like my homegirls that we used to have around. So I knew she was in good hands. You know, when we was partying heavy at Octagon, I think it was Octagon at this time, yeah. We was partying hard at Octagon. My we had a lot of associates. We had a lot of people come together with us. So I was bringing my girlfriend, showing her off at the club, taking mad pictures with her, everything. And like the second year, we started to do small trips. Take a day driving here, take a weekend in Atlantic City. She's like, wow, you really into me. No boyfriend has took me out of New York. I was like, yeah, the first, okay. So I was feeling myself. Um, then it's like as time went on, she started to change, like a 360. So at this point, she started to get mad, impatient, she started to have attitudes. She started to try to track my phone, get angry if I'd be at work and she'd blow up my phone because she wanted to talk to me right then and there, or she haven't heard from me in hours. But I used to work at this job where I couldn't really be on my phone all the time. I would use my phone to call vendors. I would use my phone to text coworkers. I had it on Do Not Disturb, with the exception of my coworkers. So I would text her on my lunch break. I'll call her when I go off the train. I'll do those little things. We said good morning every time. And I kind of was getting used to that. That was really something that, and then it was weird because I started to go to her church and things was good. I started to meet her family. I started to come to family events. I was in there with her too. Like we was in Pure Bless the first 3 years, the first 2.5 years. Then things started to go left. She started to get the man to start to get aggressive. She started to, she ended up getting her car. So we were just, she'll end up telling me, oh, she want to go somewhere. We have to go somewhere. Because during this time, I still have my friends. We'll have gatherings, we still meet up. We'll meet up at my boys, Raymond's mom's house. Um, so she would drive there. She would get mad and be like, I don't want to leave. My boy Germs had his uncle Dave. We would go to his stuff in the summer. And, you know, like it felt like at this point, like my feelings for her just started to shift because I'm like, who is this person? Who's this person that was overly aggressive, overly dominant girl that would treat me like shit, would treat me like a boy, that would sneak this me. She'll say stuff and say, I'm just joking, babe. I don't know. At this point, like it was a shift in the level of respect for me. I went from being her boyfriend to feeling like I was a little boy. And at this point, I had no control over the relationship. She was in control of she was in control of it. She was basically texting me in a haughty way. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta come here. I want you here now. You gotta do this for me. I want this for you. I want this from you. I need that from you. The good thing about her is that she was very direct, and I like that because if I wanted to buy her a gift or I wanted to buy her something, she'll directly tell me what it is. Christmas, Thanksgiving, no, Christmas, her birthday, whatever. I remember one time she went to we went to her birthday called in the city at Agave. I think Agave was like Greenwich Village, Lower East Side type of vibes. And her best friend picked me up from my house and her and drove us there. Her best friend was her chauffeur. Um, Her best friend had a boyfriend at this time who's also a Sagittarius. By the way, I'm a Sagittarius. His birthday was probably like the 6th or the 7th, I think, of December. So we would link up and he would talk to me and he seemed crazy in the head. I like I was talking to my girl and she was saying that Tony, which was his name, is a loner. He ain't got no friends. He's this, he's that. All he got is Simone, her girlfriend. So yeah, it's crazy because when that happened, we was we still had a lot of during this time in the relationship, the shift happened. I just didn't tolerate her BS. I just said, look, I'm studying to take this test. I can't have you agitated because I can't do stuff and I have no money to do it. I can't do this right now. Because honestly, she brought me to the house and she was talking about looking for apartments, looking to move out of New York right then and there. I wasn't down for that shit. Not really at that time. It was like, yeah, I roll over, I fall asleep. She gave me a kiss and everything. Um, so yeah, it was crazy. It was a crazy time. And then it's like during this time I was trying to start my DJ career. If you know, you know DJ Retro in the past. And she was trying to help me out, like get the equipment and be supportive, help me arrange my music, help me with the structure. Like one thing I noticed about me, I'm all over the place. I'm not neat. I'm not as tidy. And I like to have people around who can help structure me, who can help put stuff in line. And she let me drive her car. So one day before we went to my friend's birthday, she was just going hard. I think I said something to her before because she wore an outfit I didn't like and it hurt her feelings. I really forgot what I said exactly, but it hurt her feelings. And it was like a big argument on the way to my friend's my friend's house in the Bronx. And then she gonna go to that party and be like, "Oh, I want to come to your birthday next year, but I may be pregnant or engaged by then." I'm like, "Why the fuck you telling her about this stuff? And you didn't discuss this with me?" And she was saying that she really loved me and she really wants to be with me forever. And it's just her feelings for me is so intense. So, no, at this time, I'm just like, she's very combative. So we just fighting and tussling. No, I'm not with her again. Like, I'm just like, yo, I can't do this right now because shortly after, a lot of events happened. A lot of things happened. Like, um, I got a call from my boy Germ's uncle. The shit was I told him my sister called maybe a few months before that. She had to drive us to White Plains to get the shit done. I told her my boy had got a call from me from his uncle. I signed the title or whatever. We drove the car to Queens. We had a big story. I had got tickets and everything with it. My older sister had moved in back to the house, and that was chaotic. I'm just like, yo, these events was brutal, son. And like all of them was happening at the same time. And then on top of that, I lost my job because I had a surgery. I'm like, yo, this ain't it, bro. This is not it. I can't do this right now. Like, and she's talking about marriage and moving. We're coming up to 4 years, buddy. My biological clock is ticking, so I need kids. So I just said, nah, this ain't it, bro. I can't do this. Like, I'm just not ready. I just told her straight up, I'm not ready. So during this time we broke up, but we was still texting, but we wasn't like meeting up. Like I felt like we was together, but we wasn't like together because we was still texting and stuff. We still had communication. At this point, I didn't close the door. Um, and then it wasn't until like maybe 2 years later we broke up, and I thought because she was ready to move, I I was working at this place. I was working at Pfizer, and Pfizer was like a short-term contract, so like she was serious about looking for moving, and at this point, she was looking for places. She was saving up money. She was trying to convince me to leave my parents' house at that time because she saw what was going on with my parents and how they was disrespecting me and how my sister was being crazy and she kept coming in there and interrupting us. And my sister has mental health. She can't help it. Like she's disrespectful, she's mean, she don't know boundaries. If she wants something, she wants it now. Um, yeah, it was a lot. And my girlfriend was just becoming a bitch. Like she was very hot-headed. She wouldn't know how to compromise. She wouldn't bend. So we broke up, but like I was without her for a while. Without her for like maybe a year plus. I remember it was like 2018 that all this happened. And I was without her for like a year plus. I remember telling my friends and then I was telling my homegirls like, yo, the shit just went left and I don't know if she's coming back. So like a year went by, I didn't have her. Then out of nowhere, she hit me up. She's like, I miss you. I really want to be with you. I'm sorry for everything that happened. I want us to really make this work. I don't know why. I still felt a very uneasiness in my heart that I didn't want to do this. But I had to convince myself that, you know, the toxicity and the haughty, the bullyish attitude would cease. Because even before, what led us to break up too was she was going to wedding seminars. She was going to. It felt like she was planning the shit with me in mind, but selfishly planning it for her. Like she has to be in the spotlight. She over here suggesting that I use my brother house for the ceremony, for the for the reception. She over here doing all of this. And I'm like, yo, quit it with the marriage talk, yo. So, I mean, my biggest mistake at that time was not blocking her and letting her back in the third time. Because once I let her back in this time, she was so impatient and she was so demanding that I had to say this. And my feelings just wasn't there for her no more. Like I let her back a third time, but this time things was a little different because she had her own place. So I was leaving my parents' house to go stay with her and her own place, stay the night, see what it was like. But she made me her lackey. And then she was like, "You gotta propose to me. You can't live here without marrying me, without us working towards a marriage. You gotta do this. You gotta do that." I know in my heart that I didn't want to marry the girl. So I mean, it was good to get away from my folks because my folks was driving me crazy during that time. This was like the beginning of the pandemic. So I was still adjusted to the pandemic during this time. She was trying to keep me away from everybody. She was trying to, it was her, I was moving into her house, her space. So she was the one in charge. She was the one in control. And I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like the fact that, having to not I mean she barely trusted me, but I wasn't in love with her no more. I was just there, and I knew that in my heart that I was just there, and I couldn't waste no more time because I'm over here telling people one thing, and I'm just like, oh, let me get up and go do this. Let me get up and go to the store with this girl, and she over here she's very jealous and possessive. So you can imagine when we used to go to the laundromat, we used to go to Target. She used to watch me like a hawk. Like, you was watching at that girl? Why'd you talk so friendly to that cashier, that lady? Was she flirting with you? And accusing me of stuff I didn't want to do. And I didn't like the way that felt. So with all of that being said, I just said, no, I don't feel comfortable doing this. And in my heart, I knew I didn't want to be there. I knew that taking her back this third time was a big mistake because during this time we was basically together like almost 5 years. Yeah. We was together 5 years on and off. It was really on and off because during that year that I had her, I missed her badly. And I wasn't having sex. I wasn't seeing nobody. It was crazy. Um, so I think I yearned for that love, that affection again. So that's another reason why when she came back, she lived in Flatbush too. She came back, she moved to Flatbush. I lived in East New York. It was a hop, skip, and jump away. So, but she came back, she meant business. She was like, yo, you gotta marry me now. Time is ticking. And I knew in my heart that I didn't want to do it. So I just told her straight up, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to get married. I don't want to have kids. I just don't want to be with you no more. Like I just don't feel it in my heart no more. I don't know why I came back. And I came back, it was probably like a month and a half before I made the recollection. I knew, oh, we went to the pastor for a premarital assessment. And he kind of knew in my heart that this was probably not something I was sure about doing at the time. So he's seen it. With him seeing that and me not being sure about everything, it was time to say goodbye. It's time to take a bow. And I was I was happy, but I had to heal. Like it was too much toxicity. It was too much bullying behavior. It was really I was walking on eggshells when I was living with her. I was walking on eggshells the later half of the relationship. So it's like, do I want to walk on eggshells? Do I want to lie? Do I want to keep my family away from me? Do I want to do any of that? And the answer is no, I don't like walking on eggshells. I don't like being told what to do. I like compromise. I'm a fair person. I will bend, but if I'm the only one bending, what's the fucking point? And that's the reason why I couldn't do it. Like, I would have married her and I would have felt like I wouldn't have felt like the man, I would have felt like the boy. Plus, not only was my heart not in it no more, my finances wasn't set up to start a life with her. I didn't have a permanent job. I didn't have my shit together. I knew that my credit score was coming up. I didn't have money saved, nothing. But I kid you not, if I would have stayed with her another 2 months, she would have popped up pregnant. Oh yeah, she would have popped up pregnant. It would have been no mistake about that shit. So I'm glad I dodged the bullet, you know? Um, and that was 2020. That was over. So now, these last 4 years, I've been dotting. I've been living my single life. You know, I've been going to parties, meeting people. I've been using dating sites, Hinge, Facebook, dating, Instagram. Turn my Instagram into a dating site. Um, I know even when I was like doing all these things and meeting random dots, I knew I wasn't in the space to date. Like in 2020 and 2021, I knew I wasn't ready. I was acting out because I was still repressing the the things that happened between me and her. Like, and then I moved out my parents' house in 2021 and got my own place, which I'm still here now, which I'm surprised. Because there was a couple times I thought I was gonna lose this place. It's probably like 4 to 5 times I thought I was gonna lose this apartment. Um, what else? So at this current time, I'm just single, I'm living. No, I hope that love finds me again with the right one. Somebody who I could build a lifetime with, somebody who I could raise a family. I believe in love, but I don't want to meet I don't want to meet something that I've dealt with already. I don't want to meet these girls and even when I was like meeting these dots, the soul ties screw my head up because, one thing is when you get into a person sexually, you begin taking their energy and their soul ties. And a lot of times, you know, because of what they're doing, they're dotting and they're screwing random guys. Their behavior was getting to me, the whole act of it, is love was just not finding me. And I was just meeting a lot of girls lately who friend zoned me, who was just nice to me. And now I remember, like I was telling y'all earlier about the girl that used to invite me out like every outing she had. Like the cycle was continuing. I was meeting girls that was in the nightlife scene, party promoting, bartender, model that would invite me out, but it would benefit them. It wouldn't benefit me because they would blatantly tell me, no, we're friends. No, I'm not interested in you. So Yeah, so at this point in my life, 2024, I'm just I'm just patiently waiting for the next boo thing. I want to be booed up soon. Everybody around me is married, have kids, or both. I got little cousins that beat me to the altar. No, it's a real frustrating thing for me to know that I'm I'm going through this, and I'm ideally going through this shit, and it's not an easy thing to go through every day. So yeah, but that is my love story. Like, and right now I'm open to find new love. I'm open to find romance, something that's real, something that's healthy. I made a vision board, and one of the things on my vision board was a healthy partner. Now, the vision board I made, I people say you gotta knock off those goals within a year. That's like a blueprint of the things that I'm aiming towards for a year and beyond. So that was my love story, and I do believe in love. I do believe in lust. I do dream of a life of becoming a dad, having a family, driving a nice car, living in a house, and being in a living the American dream. This is not the type of life I want to end up with. Single life, always, always chilling, always got free time, always going places solo if nobody want to go with you. I ain't got time for that. Like, I enjoy my own company, but it's better to have somebody else to enjoy this life with. And that's my love story. And this is Star Time, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.